I know I have a friend that has one, but she's not a friend much anymore because she has one. I could show you my text to her. I make angry remarks to her every text about how I'm not going to talk to her until I get a PlayStation. All right. All right, find your seats. I did hand back the test, correct? Matt?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Last test. Today is Wednesday. We will get the second review. Remember, this is only half of the material. We'll cover this part today, and then I'll give you the second review tomorrow and Friday. Then I'll do the last half. Well, Friday's a shortened day, but the nice thing is we literally just took that one test, so we have a little bit less to review because we already took one of the tests. All right. I'll just say point blank. Most of the stuff I'm going to show you today are the stuff that nobody remembers. You remember doing it, it kind of just shakes, but no one remembers the formulas. Right? Well, I'll see if that's true or not. Here's what you got to do: is you got to make some notes to yourself, Danny. Every one that I do today, you got to make notes. You got to say to yourself, "I see what's going on. I know what to do." All right? We're not going to spend much time getting answers. We're going to spend more time on the process. Right? Agreed, but I'm saying, do you remember how to do them?
I do somewhere.
Okay, this is the easiest of the easy. All right, so it says we're dealing with an arc. It says find the measure of the arc or the central angle as indicated. Somewhere there's going to be an indication of what they want you to find. It's right here. So it says find the measure of arc TU. Well, where is arc TU? Well, here's T, there's U. Well, how come I didn't go the long way around? How would they have written it?
They would TS.
They would have said TSU, right? Or TVU, right? They could have said that as well too. But since there's only two letters, it's a minor arc, so less than 180 degrees. So I'm trying to find how big is that right there.
That's just subtract 138.
Well, you have to remember. Now here comes what you remember from arcs. There's two main things. One deals with an inscribed arc, right, or inscribed angle, sorry, and one deals with a central angle. A central angle comes from the center of the circle. An inscribed angle comes from a corner of the circle. So which one do we have? Do we have inscribed or do we have central angle?
Yes.
We got a central angle. So do you remember the so what about central angles and arcs? The opposite, well, the part that it makes, we say that the arc that it constructs is equal to the central angle. Well, if TU is equal to the central angle is right here. It's not labeled.
But it's the same.
Why?
I don't remember why, but
Look at it.
vertical.
It's vertical angles, right? You see it? Okay, so that's as simple as it gets, right? No big deal. Everybody got that one?
This is like one of the few things I actually.
Yeah, but this is central angle. It gets more complicated. This is as easy as it gets. So central angle is always equal. Now, they could have, instead of asking you TU, they could have asked you, I don't know, they could have asked you ST. How big is ST? Arc ST. How would you figure that out?
Well, since one side's 138, the other side's 188, and you would subtract. What?
You see the line?
That's an axe.
180 degrees. So therefore, 180 minus 138, whatever that is, that would be the central angle. Very good. All right. Very nice. Okay. That's usually how that question is asked. They'll either give you the actual central angle, or they'll give you the vertical angle to it, or they'll give you one where you have to subtract from 180. Okay. Minor or major arc? Okay, so remember, if it's a major arc, you just follow the letters. V to S all the way to U. That's the arc I'm calculating.
So would that be like 360 minus?
Well, let's just do it piece by piece.
Oh, yeah, let's see it again.
Two ways you could think about it, right? If they give you this, well, then it would be 360 minus this. They don't, right? So we could do this plus this plus this, right? Could you figure those out? Well, what's this one? 132. What's this one?
180 minus
which is,
It's just 50. Oh, yeah.
so then what do I do with those three numbers? 132, 48, and 132. It is a multiple choice test. It is a multiple choice test. Look at the answers. What possible answer could it be? It's a major arc. What do you know about major arcs?
312.
A major arc must be, by definition, larger than. Look at the answers. Did we need to really do anything? Well, unfortunately, we didn't look at the answers. If we had looked at the answers, there's no work. Now, that isn't always going to happen. Don't pretend that, oh, I won't do any work here. You probably have to do work. But on this particular one, if you're on the ball, heck, you didn't have to do any math to figure that one out. Questions? All right, that one's like that one. That one's like that one. First different one. All right, number 23. Do we have a central angle or do we have an inscribed angle? Where's the center of the circle? So do we have any inscribed or any central angles other than the diameter here? Remember, the diameter would be 180. Right? But no, so we're going to be dealing with inscribed angles. Okay, it's different formula. Central angles equal to the arc. Inscribed angles are a half of the arc. So an inscribed angle is half of the arc that it makes. Now, I always get this confused. So for me, I got to draw the picture. Pokeball, right? What's this angle right here? If that's a diameter. What's this angle right here? If that's the diameter, what's that angle? 90. Because remember, it's half. So for me, because I will always screw this up, I draw this picture to keep this in my head. Because even though I can tell you the formula, I still have troubles like, I don't know, visualizing what that means. So I always draw a circle with a diameter, make one inscribed angle, and then I can easily see that, oh, look, it makes a right angle. So therefore, the angle is a half of the arc. Because if I'm not careful, I'll do half of the angle instead of half of the arc. Okay, half of the arc is equal to the angle, or double the angle is equal to the arc. Either way. Okay, let's see what's trying to have us find here. Well, there's a question mark right here. So it looks like we're trying to find FE. Well, if you notice that FE comes from this inscribed angle, angle FDE. How big is FDE? Now, if this was 90, how big is this arc from here to here? So you double the angle. So therefore, if I double 34, I get, and if they're really mean, guess what they'll have as an answer? See what I mean? If they're really mean, they'll just take half of the angle. And for the kid that's like, oh, I know there's a half involved, they'll say, well, it must be half of 34. You have to keep this in your brain.
The thing is, that doesn't make sense, though.
Doesn't make sense with that picture? Absolutely not. Okay? But if they're really mean, they'll put half of the angle and somebody will get suckered into that because like, oh no, he said half of something. Half of 34 is 17. But half of the arc is the angle. Double the angle is the arc. Who's lost on that idea?
I know, I remember.
Agreed. Like I said, this can be easily confused. All right, inscribed angle. Let's do another one. That one is easy. That one is easy. Do they have a hard one? Okay, this one isn't that hard. It's a different one. Okay, so how big is the question mark? It's EF. And here's your first different formula. You ready?
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
This one is a different form. Notice we don't have any inscribed angles. All right. Next one. Either you got to search for it in your book of truth. I believe this is chapter 9. Okay. You get this construction where you have an X inside of a circle. You get this construction where you have an X inside of a circle. there's going to be two questions that are asked with the X. There's going to be something about, well, actually three, the angles, the arcs, or the segments. They're called chords, right? Three different types of questions. Two of them deal with the same thing. This one right here. You're either going to be dealing with the angle or the arc. The third type of question deals with, you're going to have an X, a Y, I don't know, R and an S, something like that. They're going to deal with segment lengths. All right, one piece at a time. This one deals with arc measures. So it turns out, anybody remember the formula?
No, I tried.
Nobody?
That's on the tip of my tongue.
So the arc is equal to 1/2
Speed times
this angle plus this angle. I'm sorry, arc, I'm sorry. 1/2 of the, I got this backwards. The angle, the central angle, this angle right here, I almost made a big mistake here, is equal to the arc 1 plus arc 2. I really messed that up. That's right. So this angle right here is equal to this arc plus that arc.
I was just saying, just minus 1.5.
So which one do we know? Well, we know the angle. Well, the angle is 125. And that's equal to 1/2 of the two arcs. Where are the two arcs? 200, and the other one we don't know, so plus,
Hey, where did you get 200?
it says right here.
Thank you. Gotcha.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right, we got to do a little bit of math. Anybody like fractions?
No.
Get rid of it.
100.
Multiply both sides by 2. So that gives me what? 250 is equal to 200 plus x. Oh, I forgot.
So it's just 50?
Divide both sides.
I made a mistake here somewhere.
X plus 2.
Well, it's right.
Wouldn't you subtract?
Oh, no, it's right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you subtract 200?
I'm having a stroke apparently. I just subtracted 200 from 250 and I got 150. I'm looking at the answer like it's not there. That was bad. Okay, we good?
Oh yeah.
So 50.
I understand.
Once again, if you have that X inside of a circle, the angle, the central angle, or not the central angle, the angle is equal to 1/2 of the two arcs added together. Now, it's confusing because eventually we're going to get to a subtraction one. Remember that? This is the one where you add the two arcs together. Matt, you're kind of looking, staring blankly.
I always do that.
Okay.
Is number 27 the one with you?
I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
I vaguely remember this. I just remember reading it.
Oh, I remember drawing over homework.
Yeah, this is the subtraction one. Okay, this has the same feel. So notice where the angle is, not inside, not making an X, the angle is outside. When it's outside, it's still angle is equal to 1/2. Notice in this construction, you're always going to have a big arc. You're going to have a little arc. You see it? You're always going to have a big arc, and you're going to have a little arc. Always. You can't get two equal arcs, right? All right, big arc and a little arc. And that's why it's called big minus small. Now, your book doesn't say that at all. And we're talking about arcs here. One of the arcs is going to be big, and one you can't put the angle on the outside of a circle and not wind up with a big arc and a little arc. In class, I said it's the one that's farthest away minus the one that's closest. Okay, there's another way of saying it. But it's always going to be the big arc minus the small arc. The small arc is going to be closest to the angle. The large arc is going to be the one farthest away. Okay, so all we're doing once again is plugging in numbers here. Well, they give us the angle. It's 52. 1/2 is 1/2. The big side, 155. The small side is an X, but this time we're subtracting, so we're going to have a negative involved here.
But the negative works out, which is nice. I like that.
I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of that half, so we get 104 is equal to 155 minus x.
Subtract 155 from
When we
one side.
subtract 155, we get a negative number.
And then since the x is negative, we want it positive, times the side by -1. And then
We get what? Negative 51
Yeah, negative
is equal to negative x. I think you can look at the answers.
flip flop.
What have I done?
Subtract 155 from both sides.
Oh, got it.
That's going to give you that negative 51.
What?
Danny, yes, no, maybe? Okay.
Wait.
I will put on the test one of every flavor. One of every flavor. Just as we're going over it right now. All right. Remember, we could be solving for the angle as well. I mean, the angle could be the question mark. When the angle is a question mark, it's a pretty straightforward calculation. Okay.
Give me the full
The same mule. Give me the formula.
Well, notice this one doesn't form two arcs, right? Anybody remember how to do this one?
No.
This is theorem.
I remember the images that I just don't know.
This is theorem. Not there. Where are we at? Other angles. This is chapter 9.
It's not like it's really like,
Where are you, theorem?
you know, like, not gonna-
You can't find the theorem. All right, I'm going to show you the answer, and you're going to tell me what the theorem is, or what. How did they get that number?
What?
How did they get that number? That's it.
Well, to be kidding.
The reason why is because it's an inscribed angle. So if I draw a circle, remember inscribed angle is equal to 1/2 of the arc, right? So all they do is take this side and just pull it to the outside. Well, it's still an inscribed angle. So it's half of that arc. Okay. For some reason, I must be looking the wrong part. Maybe it was a little earlier in the chapter. Trying to, so that you could book note your book of truth, or if you're not, oh, here it is. It's theorem 9.8. Just had to flip back a couple pages. Theorem 9.8.
Will we be allowed to take this practice test on
Do what?
Can I take this practice test on final?
Online?
No, on the final.
You can bring a book of truth. If you put this in your book of truth, yes, absolutely. All right, questions so far? All right, here we go. And the last and the final part, yeah.
So when you say put in your book of truth, I mean, that could just go away from
It's always that one kid. You want to go to that trouble, go for it.
I was just wondering.
Yeah,
Bro, we can do that.
We can do that.
You guys will wind up with glue on your hands, and then you'll glue your hand to your face, and you go to the emergency room. And Well, don't
Besides,
worry.
this kid'll gave us a hot glue gun, so we'll be fine.
Chandler, who's not here, will eat the glue, and he'll wind up in the hospital.
Oh no. Chandler can't get hurt.
Chris will glue his brother to the wall.
I can just see that. Just putting glue all over your brother's back and holding him against the wall until he stops.
All right, up here. This is the last one for this one. This is the one that, if you remember when I talked to you, I was like, I don't believe it's true. It is true, by the way. I'm just saying this bothers me. This particular one. That's
Oh,
always.
is this the stupid one?
No, it's not stupid at all, but it bothers me that it works. By the way, we proved it in class, so I have to accept that it does work, but still bothers me. So here's the thing. You see the X?
Yeah, that one.
We're not going to be dealing with any angles or any arcs. We're just dealing with the lengths of the segments. There's 4 segments here. The 27, the 18, the 14, and the X. Here's what it says. You take where it intersects, and you take the 2 pieces parts of the segment, the chord.
27 plus 14.
It's not plus, it's multiplication. So it turns out that 27 times 14 is equal to,
18 times.
I have problems believing that, but that's what it says. Okay, not friendly math there. Notice the answers are all really close together, so I can't do my typical, oh, let's do some rounding figure. We actually got to do that math.
Can I just do?
Hey, you got a calculator on the test.
Yeah.
Grab your calculators. What's the answer?
No simple
You
math
have
on
to try
Earth.
and do that. Divide that into
So the answer is,
21.
Kate says C. Yes?
Well, it's 60,
C?
See.
So,
Yes. What?
C. The answer is C.
answer C.
Like from Spanish. Espanol.
See, what's
Yeah.
Oh, no.
For those of you taking German.
You might want to go C.
What's they say in Spanish?
They also say richtig, which means correct.
Why is German so out there? Like,
No, the German.
It's
language,
not.
They're really aggressive when they say
yeah.
stuff.
What's the word for pig?
I don't know.
Take a guess.
Pig.
Schwein. You've used it before. You've heard somebody call somebody a Schwein. It's more so, it's not that the word literally is like so close to the word pig. It's just that we have lots of German words in our vocabulary.
They're so off. Like actual words.
No. Guess how do you say hello?
He said Schwein.
Yes.
Cadence. Guess how you say hello?
I know that one, but like.
Hello. Except they say it with an A instead of an E. Hallo. It's the same word.
Who says
that?
Germans.
Insulted.
And for Dutch, you say halo. Like-
Actually, I don't know the word for halo.
I know good time.
It means good day. Gut. Good. It's the same word. It's no difference. They, instead of having a D, they put a T. Gut. But it's not spelled G-O-D or T, but G-U-T. Those are called umlauts, and they make a long, hard sound. So, for instance,
You use a word that has.
yeah. A cat in German is cat. They spell with a K. But when you talk about plural, and they put an ER, they sound cater.
Gator.
Okay.
So it makes a lot of, there's a one over A, there's one over O. What else is an umlaut over?
I think it's over you. I don't know. I've seen it in like.
It can be, it just makes a ooh sound. All right, here we go. This does come in some more flavors. So this is the one where the angle's on the outside. We're still dealing with segment lengths. Some of them are secant, some of them are chords, some of them are tangents.
Why does
All right.
30 equals 18?
So this is the one that we gotta. I'm gonna write all flavors. Okay, so the first flavor is the X, right? We'll label it A, B, C, D. So A times B is equal to C times D. The second flavor is when you get this construction, right? I have two secants. I got an A, a B, the whole thing together is, we'll call it R. I got a C, I got a D, and the whole thing together is S. You remember?
What do you have to say?
It's A times R equals C times S. And the last one looks like this, where you have a tangent and a secant. And so we got an A, B, C, we'll call that S. And remember, A squared is equal to B times S. Okay.
Oh, heck.
Which flavor do we have? The last one. So we got to take A and square it. Ugh, big number. So 30 squared is equal to, ooh, you got to do the sum of these. Well, it is going to be 18, but it's going to be the sum of the two. One is an X. So it's going to be 18 plus X. This one's going to require, you got to calculate, don't panic. 300 or 30 squared is what, 900?
Yes.
18 times 18,
6.
what?
324.
Why are we doing
Plus 18X. Okay? Subtract 324 from 900 and you get 5, by what? 576. Divide that by 18 and you get 32. And that is answer B. 3 flavors. You're either going to have an X, 2 secants, or a tangent and a secant. I got a tangent and I got a secant.
So are we not gonna do the middle flavor?
We will. Oh, did I not give you one?
No.
I could give you one.
You shouldn't. That
Okay.
would be pretty cool.
Wait,
No,
what
it's
about
not the last
31?
one. It's number 31.
All right.
31 is it?
Yeah, 31.
So we take 30 squared, which is the tangent, and we multiply it by the B. The B is the short piece on the outside, the 18 times the whole thing. But the whole thing is 18 plus X.
Got it. Sorry.
And then with a calculator, it's not that big of a deal. It is a big of a deal if you're doing this by hand. Well, not with those numbers, but it could be if there's decimals or weird looking things or square roots. Okay? I'll leave this up. We'll do them all. 31. What flavor? Second one. So it just says the pieces multiplied together, but it's the sums. R and S are the sums. So it's the outside. I'll do top one first. So it's 6 times the sum. 6 plus 15 is,
21.
okay? And supposedly that equals the outside times the sum. That's 7 plus X. Okay? So 6 times 21 is 126. And that's 49 plus 7X. Subtract 49. What is that? 4 from 11. It said that 77. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, therefore, I don't need to do the rest of the math. I can see where that's going.
So you added 15 and 6 to get 21, right?
Yeah,
Josh, please. Josh. And
previous class.
so you just multiplied it by 6 again?
Yeah, so it's outside times the sum equals outside times the sum. And that's the middle flavor. Max, you get this one?
No.
How come you're not asking questions?
Because I was just trying to.
So it's middle flavor. Outside times the sum equals outside times the sum.
Unlock the secret flavor ice cream.
So that's where I got the 21, 6 plus 15. Outside is 6. Outside is 7. The sum is 7 plus X. 7 times 7, 49. 7 times X, 7X. When I subtracted 49 from 126, I got 77. And then I was like, okay, I'm not doing any more work because I know what the answer is. By the way, the answer is 11. Yes, everybody? So the only flavor we didn't do was,
We did all of them.
oh, we did them all. There you go. One on each. One on each. That was the first flavor. Let's go ahead and do that one. We'll call it a day. Danny, which flavor is it? First, second, or third? Which one does it look like? Looks like first one. The first one says take the 2 pieces of the segment, multiply them together, and that equals to the 2 pieces of the segment multiplied together. So give me 2 pieces of the segment. 10 and 9 are not on the same segment. Look at them. The segment means that.
10 and 18.
Okay, so I need to multiply 10 times 18, and that equals the other segment. What are the other 2 pieces of the other segment? Well, that would be 9 times X, which is 9X. You can do this one in your head. Therefore, the answer is Matt?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
No, it's number 31, but I just died on. I got 2.
Did you get it though?
No.
31?
I just got the answer of 2.
Which flavor is it, Matt?
It's the second.
Okay, So the second one says take the piece on the outside, multiply it by the sum. What's the piece on the outside?
6.
Times the sum. What's the sum? You can do that in your head. You don't need a calculator. What's 5 plus 21? Okay. And the same thing on the other side. Piece on the outside.
7.
And the sum.
7 plus x.
Just do a little bit of distributive property. 6 times 21.
Yeah, that is not what I got.
You have a calculator.
I don't know where I got what I got, but
Now what, Matt?
He's lost in the sauce.
you divide.
What?
No, you subtract.
Do it.
Both sides. 7. Get 11x.
What?
You don't get 11 x.
Wait, x equals 11.
Is that one of the answers?
Yeah.
Okay, you got
Well, 11x is not the answer. I don't see it on.
it. All right. That's half of the semester final. The semester final is on Monday?
Yes.
Monday. It's the
Why did you
second
put that
test?
on Monday?
first test?
Why did they put
You
it-
First test.
On Monday.
You guys are the ones that came up with the schedule, not me.
Because we just wanted to have
So that's why I
science at the
said,
end.
why did we put math on a Monday?
Yeah, why
All the seventh graders hate you though right now.
That's okay, they're seventh grade.
Yeah, they're right.
Ninth grade.
Yeah, consider this payback for standing in the hallway all the time. They're giving us crap.
Consider payback for existing in general.
I told him, I said,
That's-
when you get to be seniors, you can make the seventh graders hate you too.
Like the seventh graders of that time.
Well, first off, most of the seventh graders are probably not going to study anyway.
Of course they're not.
Have you seen these seventh
I
graders?
know, they're
Until
seventh graders.
I became one, and I was like, wow, this sucks.
All right, hey, couple, you need to get good grades in order to pass. Let's get good grades and pass.
This is really loud.
What?
This is really loud.
And you didn't get an A on the last test.
I was off by like. I was so lazy. I just couldn't be.
You couldn't even open your book of truth and write the midpoint
I have not.
formula.
I kid you not. I have not written down a single note for the past 2 quarters. I still get A's. It's okay.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, online learners, I have to tell you this. I got an email last night. You probably did as well too. It states that you must come in and physically take the test. It is what it is. We will not be making the test online. It will be a physical test. So you need to come in on Monday to take your test. If you need a copy of the test schedule, I will pull it up real quickly and show you. This will be for course 1, but it's the same schedule for all upper school students. Say what?
What are we gonna do?
I'll talk. Seth, I have no idea what language it is, but it's very annoying.
Like, what's the schedule for that?
Hold on. I know what you're asking. All right, e-learners. This is the schedule. I would ignore the current week that we're in. Look at that second week for semester final. These are your schedules. So Caden said, well, what's the schedule every day? So you're going to show up at 7:30, 7:35, whenever you normally show up. You're going to immediately go to your SA. You're going to spend 1 hour in SA. Why do we make that one an hour? Because we know the possibility is that you haven't done any studying. And we're going to give you that hour. We had the option of doing a short at the beginning or a short after the first. We decided to do long at the first because the possibility is some of you didn't do any studying. So we're going to give you an hour to study for your first final. That brings you to about 8:30-ish, somewhere around there. Then you're going to go to your first test. So between 8:30 and basically 10 o'clock, you're going to take your first test. Then you're going to go to your SA for a half an hour. So somewhere between 10, 10:30, the times they gave it to me, I didn't pay that much attention other than general idea. So somewhere between 10 and 10:30, somewhere between 10 and 10:30, you're going to be in SA. Then you're going to go to your second test. So between 10:30 and 12 is your second test. The last day, which is Thursday, not Friday. Friday is not required unless you're absent for one of the other days. Thursday is going to be, you're going to do the normal schedule, hours study, then go take your, in this case, the period 5 exam, which for you is chemistry.
I thought we put it last.
All right, so you'll go down to,
Wait, but then what do we do?
I'm going to tell you.
You're like, okay.
All right, so you're going to go to that first test. You're going to take the test. That'll bring you to about 10 o'clock. And then from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, we're going to, what's the song? How's the song go? Clean up, everybody clean up. You're going to have to do 3 things. The 3 things that you'll have to do is first and foremost, clean up the classroom that you're in, right? Whatever you wind up with, which will, I believe we're going to go to essay again. Second thing you're going to do is you're going to clean out your locker and get it inspected, right? It's probably going to be your essay teacher. And then the last thing you're going to do, which is get a final clearance that from the administration that you've turned in all your books and you've cleaned out your locker. And then you're going to go home. Yeah. Is that what we did in 8th grade? We didn't have lockers in 8th grade. Yeah, we did. So that's what Thursday will look like.
Wait, are we taking our finals and our essay classes?
No,
Oh God, I feel like what we did last.
unless your essay teacher is that period teacher.
No! The most uncomfortable room for the parts test is
What's going to be on your final?
great.
Yes.
I'm going to stop the video now. We're just kind of chit-chatting.
We're going from chapter 8 to 20. So.
Yeah.